Did you know everything we understood about coding with AI over the past 2 years might be wrong? Not about whether AI can code, it can and does it well. We were wrong about how to collaborate with it. Think how you use ChatGPT or Claude to code. You type, it responds, you read, you type again. You hold the AI's hands like gripping a steering wheel, never letting go. But a group of people no longer work this way. Peter Steinberger says you should no longer manually prompt a coding agent. You should design a loop system that prompts the agent for you. Boris Cherny, head of Claude Code at Anthropic, put it more directly. I no longer prompt Claude. I have loops running that prompt Claude. My job has become writing loops. This is what Google engineer Addy Osmani fully unpacked in an article published in June. He calls it loop engineering. Gili Kliu, wrong. Engineering. The core idea in one sentence: you are no longer the person prompting AI, you are the person designing the system that prompts AI. Before, you were a fisherman holding a rod, sitting by the river, one hook at a time. Loop engineering turns you into a fish farm designer. You no longer fish. You design a system that automatically baits, nets, sorts, and decides where to cast next. You sit in the control room drinking coffee. This shift is not about changing tools, it is about changing your role. Addy put it precisely a year ago: if you wanted a loop, you had to write bash scripts, maintain them forever, and only you could use them. Now these components are built into the products. Codex has them. Claude Code has them. So loop engineering is not a tool war, it is a mindset war. No, what does a loop need? Addy lists 5 components and one soul. First, automations, the heartbeat of the loop. Without automation, you just have a script that runs once. You set a schedule for your agent to check yesterday's CI failures, new issues, recent commits. If it finds something, it drops into a triage inbox. If nothing, it archives itself. Codex has automations tab. Claude Code has /loop and /go. /go is especially interesting. It runs until your condition is met. Like all tests under test /auth pass and lint is clean. It loops, and after each loop an independent small model checks progress. That is component 1. Second, Worktrees, directory isolation. When 2 agents simultaneously edit the same file, disaster. Git worktree is the cure. A separate working directory sharing the same repo history, but Agent A's edits cannot touch Agent B's checkout. But Addy points out, you are still the bottleneck. Your review bandwidth determines how many agents you can run, not the tools. And third, skills. This is the most exciting part. Addy's agent skills repo has over 27,000 stars. A skill is not reference documentation. It is a workflow with checkpoints and clear completion criteria. If you give an agent a 2,000-word article on testing, it will read it, generate reasonable-looking code, and skip the tests. If you give it a workflow, the agent has something to do and you have something to verify. Workflows beat prose. Processes beat reference docs. Steps with exit criteria beat articles without conclusions. Fourth, plugins and connectors. A loop that can only see the file system is a very small loop. Connectors built on the MCP protocol let your agent read your issue tracker, query databases, hit staging APIs, and post to Slack. Both Codex and Claude Code support MCP. Addy says, the difference between an agent saying here is the fix and a loop that opens a PR, links a linear ticket, and notifies the channel after CI turns green, that difference is the connector. Fifth, sub-agents. The agent writing the code should absolutely not be the one checking it. It is too generous with its own work. You need a second agent with different instructions, sometimes a different model, to catch problems the first agent convinces itself are fine. Codex defines sub-agents in TOML files. Claude Code does the same. A common division is one explorer, one implementer, one verifier against spec. This matters especially in loops because loops run while you are away. A verifier you truly trust is the only reason you dare to let go. Now 5 components done. Now the soul, state, memory. Sounds silly, just a markdown file. but it is the secret every long-running agent relies on. The model remembers nothing between runs. Last week you ran a loop for 3 hours, fixed 8 bugs, merged 5 PRs. Run it again this morning. It remembers nothing. It thinks today is a brand new day. Memory must live on disk, not in context. Addy said something beautiful. Agents forget, but repos do not. This state file records what was tried, what passed, what is still open. Tomorrow morning it picks up from where it stopped today. And at this point you might think, awesome, let the loop run and I will collect PRs. Addy says, wait, loops change how you work, but they do not remove you from work. 3 problems become sharper as loops get more powerful. First, verification is still on you. An unsupervised loop is also a loop that makes mistakes unsupervised. Your job is to ship code you have personally verified works. Second, comprehension debt. The faster a loop ships code, the bigger the gap between what you understand and what exists. Third, the most dangerous posture is getting comfortable. When a loop runs itself, you easily stop having your own opinions. Addy calls this cognitive surrender. His closing paragraph is the emotional core. 2 people can build exactly the same loop and get completely opposite results. One uses it to accelerate work they deeply understand. The other uses it to avoid understanding anything. The loop does not know the difference. You do. This is why loop design is harder than prompt engineering, not easier. Boris Cherny did not mean work became simpler. He meant the leverage point moved. From you typing, AI answering, to you designing systems, systems talking to AI. From holding the fishing rod to designing the fish farm. From prompting agents to designing loops. So build your loop, but build it like someone who intends to keep being an engineer, not just someone who presses start. I am Dennis. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. See you next time.